Hello all and welcome back to the Hez Project. I'm John Ordolaza and we're going to be talking about the brand new episode of The Mandalorian Season 2 that just dropped this morning. This episode was titled Chapter 14, The Tragedy. When I saw that title, The Tragedy, my smile went away and went in the back pocket. I was thinking, oh god, what does that mean? Who's gonna get it? Who's gonna die? Is Baby Yoda? What's wrong with Baby Yoda or Grogu? Like literally all of these things were just going through my mind, and I was just worried sick about the child. I was worried sick about what's gonna happen next. But hey, I'm okay. I'm okay. I saw him take a nice little nap at the end. They just went straight to this Jedi temple. It was like this big circle with this giant half sphere in the center with a bunch of pillars sticking up front, about 6. Then Mando drops Baby Yoda onto the rock. Grogu. Baby Yoda. Mando drops Yogu. Mando drops Baby Yogu. He tells Grogu that you're supposed to see things, like you're supposed to see your future, your powers and whatnot, and you're supposed to send out a signal to any force-sensitive beings that might be out there or whatever's left of the Jedi, and yeah, they're supposed to come to you and help you, and he's just sitting there waiting for Grogu to do his thing. He doesn't know what it looks like, so he's just waiting to see what happens next. But then it starts happening. Grogu closes his eyes, and then the whole sphere is just flooded with like this big old force field shield that goes straight up into the sky, and it's like very blue, it's ominous, it's very transparent looking, you can see through it. Baby Yoda's just sitting there with his tiny little body. Grogu, I mean. He's sitting there with his tiny little body just focusing and, I don't know, channeling his inner forceness. So Mando and even myself are just looking around the sky and on this planet looking for any sign of someone to come and respond to Grogu's little stress beacon, if you will. And no, we don't see anything for a while, and then we see a ship just cross, and that ship is the Slave One. And the Slave One belongs to none other than Boba freaking Fett. Yeah, the guy we saw in the first episode of this season, and we haven't seen in 5 episodes. Yes, that Boba Fett. He's back now, and I'm glad that we finally get to see some sort of continuation of that. I got a feeling we were going to see a continuation of that because in the recap before this episode played, they showed the scene from season 1 of that Asian lady who's she's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm forgetting her name, I'm sorry. They showed her, like at the very end of that episode she was in, she was approached, her dead body was approached by this man, and all he saw was his boots and his cape flapping. He kneeled down, and then, yeah, nothing after that. I assumed it was going to be Boba Fett after we saw him in that first episode of this season, and it was. It was, because Boba Fett lands his Slave One, you see him, he confronts Mando, he's like, I want my armor. And then he's got the lady up there with a sniper pointed right at Baby Yoda, or Grogu. He tells Mando, I want my armor. And he's like, are you Mandalorian? He's like, it's been in my family for generations. I'm just making up a voice now. Mando then asks him, did you take the creed? And he says, I don't have no creed. I follow my own rules. It's my way or the highway. Something like that. He mentioned, no, he doesn't really follow the Mandalorian code. Boba Fett says, and I quote, I'm just a simple man making his way through the galaxy. And I love that line. Yeah, it was really cool. We didn't get to see Mando and Boba Fett throw down and freaking just beat each other down. Like, we didn't see that. I'm kind of glad we didn't see that, because sooner or later there were 2 drop ships of stormtroopers that just landed one after another on this planet, and they started charging at Boba Fett, the lady, and Mando. I guess they were trying to go after Grogu, because he's up there all by himself. Like, yeah, Mando traveled a little bit down to the Slave One, you know, but yeah, they're just taking out all these stormtroopers that are now here seemingly after the child, because they work for the Empire, or Moff Gideon, and yep, they're taking him down. This lady is just an expert shot. Like, she's just shooting all the guys so easily. And Boba Fett, by the way, he doesn't have a gun on him, it seems. He's kind of just like chilling there. And then he's got like this weird weapon, this spear with what looks like a bended like shower head on the other side of it. And he's beating the living crap out of these stormtroopers. Like, I'm talking, he's breaking their plastic helmets. You can see all the pieces just shatter when he hits them really freaking hard. And it was just awesome to see. Meanwhile, Mando decides, oh, well, I better just go grab Grogu and just leave. So he goes up there. He tries twice. He tries twice to just reach his hands into that force field, and it knocks him back 3 times. The third time, it wasn't as much, but to see him try to do it a third time was just stupid. Like, come on, dude. Grogu is straight up meditating in this force field for like ever. He is just in there forever. I don't know what he's doing. He's just sending out his beacon of forceness out to the galaxy so anyone could see. And there's a lot of speculation on who could address and who could come to the assistance of Grogu at some point. There are rumors that it could be Luke Skywalker, that it could be Ezra from Star Wars Rebels. It could be Ahsoka, maybe. She might come back. I mean, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And there's a bunch of other theories as well, like Cal Kestis from the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order video game, which I see a little highly unlikely, but hey, if you want to tie everything into it, by all means, go do it. We see the second dropship of the stormtroopers come. They take them all out. Boba Fett then lays his eyes on the Raven Crest, which is Mando's ship. He goes inside, just steals the armor, which is, it's stealing, but it's his. It belongs to his family. It belonged to Jango Fett. So he puts it on, and we finally see Boba Fett in the Boba Fett Mandalorian armor for the first time since Return of the Jedi. It was awesome. It was, in fact, the true Boba Fett, and I loved it. If I thought the lady was a nice shot, this guy, dude, Boba Fett is one of the most badass characters in all of Star Wars. I believe that now. We didn't get to see much of that in the original trilogy. He kind of just used him as, like, an impending threat. Like, he was just there. He did some deeds for the Empire and for Darth Vader. We never really saw him act and take action. But here, it was really cool. All of a sudden, after they take out all the stormtroopers, Mando's Raven Crest blows up. It blows up! It blows up, and then we get a shot of inside this Imperial cruiser in space, like right above the planet. It's Moff Gideon. He's talking to one of the people. He's like, "Are the Dark Troopers ready for deployment?" Dark Troopers? What? What? Now, I've heard of Dark Troopers before. I'm subscribed to Star Wars Theory. He talks all about that stuff. So, I was really intrigued by the concept of Dark Troopers, and I didn't think they were going to be in it. But in 2 episodes ago, The Siege with Carl Weathers and Gina Carano, that episode, at the very end, they showed Moff Gideon talking to this little spy lady, and then you see these, they look like droids in the background. They also look like suits, so maybe you can step in one, like an exosuit, but no, those were Dark Troopers. And my God, let me just say, the Dark Troopers didn't do anything in this episode other than drop down very ominously, walk very slowly towards Grogu, enclosing him on each side. One of them snags him up, and they all 4 fly back. That's all they did. That is all they did. They beat Mando, Boba Fett, and the lady to it. They beat it. They took the child and retrieved him back to the Imperial cruiser where Moff Gideon is. So they didn't do much other than just kidnap the child. That is all they needed to do because they set themselves as this big threat. I don't know what the Dark Troopers can do, but God, I'm excited to see what they do in the next couple episodes. Guys, we only have 2 more left. We got episode 7 and 8. We got chapter 15 and 16. What is going to happen here? I don't know. What I do know is at the very end of the episode, Boba Fett and the lady pledged their allegiance to retrieve the child back to Mando because he gave him his armor back. He showed him like this codex of saying that this is me from 20 plus years ago. This is my father, Jango Fett, who's owned this armor. He's like, you're a foundling, just like me. This armor belongs to you. So it's all good. They're bros now, and he says, yeah, we'll help you retrieve the child. Boba Fett takes Mando back to the settlement where Cara Dune and Greef Karga, the settlement that we saw 2 episodes ago. He takes him back there. He talks to Cara Dune, and then he says, they have the kid. And then her facial expression when she hears that, just, you can see it in her eyes. She wants to do it herself. And I have a feeling that we're going to see Cara Dune, Greef Karga, Boba Fett, that other lady, and Mando, all 5 of them band together and stop Moff Gideon. And maybe we'll see Bo-Katan and the other Mandalorians at the same time, because they're also looking for Moff Gideon, because they're going after the Darksaber. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this new Mandalorian episode review. What did you think of the episode? Are you watching this show? If not, why are you here? Why are you hearing these words? Go watch the show! It's really good! What did you think of seeing Boba Fett back, like in his armor, in his skin? It was really awesome. Anyways, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and be sure to stick around because there's always more to come.